But this is your program.
That's right. And by the way,
you know, I did have one email here.
One. You had one email. I heard a whole bunch of emails before, so I'm a little worried.
Well, I'm getting through them slowly. But we talked about the Adam Page and Bryan Danielson match recently on AEW, the best AEW World Championship match that they've held. Not that those two guys, but that the company has held. And it was a classic, and that Danielson's a genius, and all these many praiseworthy things we said. But we'd said, who would have thought, because they've hidden Page in tag team matches with Harpo as his partner, and the multi-man matches on a football field, and he's chasing people on a horse, and the goofy interviews with the Dork Order and the lawnmowers. But when he got an interview that was all about himself and could feature him talking about him in the ring that time several weeks ago, he sounded like he knew what the fuck he was doing, had some balls for once. And in this match, yes, he's being led by the more experienced guy, but not hard. I don't know too many other people, not only on the AEW roster, but in the business, that could have done that well, being led for that long. So we said, you know, if we could have seen this guy from the start, maybe it would have been more appealing. But I got an alternate viewpoint on Hangman Adam Page from a quadrant that I never would have thought in a million years, and it makes perfect sense now that they've chimed in. Would you like to hear this?
Yeah, I'm very curious about this.
Got an email, like to hear it. Here it goes. This is from Brett. And Brett says, "Hi, Jim." He said nothing about you, Brian, so apparently he doesn't really rate you, as they say over across the pond. "Hi, Jim. I love your insight on the wrestling business. Appreciate the opportunity to get to write you. The ratings for Hangman's first title defense are in and are obviously disappointing." Disappointing, I don't know. They got to over 1 million during that match. They just ran them off afterwards with the Hardley Boys. But anyway, he continues. "The reason to me is quite simple. The guy is playing dress up as a cowboy, and the entire world can see it. I myself am a cowboy. I race horses. I work on a farm. I understand the lifestyle. Originally, I was all for this guy, as you can imagine. Sadly, the first warning sign for me was when he made the company jam the brakes on his push to the top due to the birth of his child. I know.
Oh, come on.
Well, wait a minute. I know I'm a monster for saying that, but it is true. I'm all for people taking time off for that thing, but not when you pretend to be a cowboy on TV. Real cowboys, I'm telling you, they find a way to persevere with next to no live events. I think he could have found a way to make an earlier run as champion happen, especially when the moment was piping hot, but I digress. Now let's stop down for a second here. And I said the same thing. Yes, if it was a territory schedule or Crockett schedule or old-time WWF road schedule, you're not home for 2-3 weeks at a time. Yes, but they were only working 1 day a week to begin with, and this was one pay-per-view that you could have bopped in and out for and sent in video for the previous month or whatever, so it wasn't like he was on a burdensome schedule. But this is Brett's opinion here, and he qualified it. I know, I'm a monster for saying that, but it's true. Most everybody else in the business and most everybody else in previous generations that had a job that depended on their appearing at some place would have got there somehow for that. However, and I don't have the entire family tree to go back on, but if that had happened, and Moxley hadn't gone to rehab, then we might not have ended up getting this match, so maybe it worked out better in the end. Because Twinkle Toes is off and out of the picture. Danielson is having the best matches on television. We don't have to watch Moxley do the same thing every week. So maybe this might have been better for Page, too. But anyway, he continues. And this is where it gets deep now, folks. The real moment when he exposed himself as a fraud was when he had the audacity to make a cowboy shit day Not make one, but I guess name one. He named a certain day. This is Cowboy shit day, right? In the same message where he purchases a Tesla and says trucks are bad for the environment. Newsflash, numbnuts. Real cowboy shit requires a truck. Have you ever hauled 30 bales of hay to feed your horses? How did you get those horses into downtown Minneapolis for your little riding vignette? And how about when you need to move tack, equipment, and other important farm material? That moment sealed it. Sure, he's just pretending to be a cowboy like actors in Hollywood pretend. But here's the difference. John Wayne never gave the finger to real cowboys while he was starring in Westerns. And that's the difference. So this phony piece of crap, in my opinion, can hit the road.
Jesus.
He spits in the face of every real cowboy and is a disgrace to that belt. Actually, he's from a small town in Virginia. So he's not really a cowboy anyway.
Yeah, he's a school teacher from Virginia. Obviously, he's playing a character.
Well, he's a hillbilly.
He's from Virginia.
Yeah, they have cowboys out west in Texas. They have hillbillies up. I'm not talking about Arlington, Virginia. I'm not talking about suburban Washington, D.C. I'm talking about western Virginia, out around Clinchco and Hayside and all those types of places. There's a few hillbillies up there, boy.
I'd also like to say the job of cowboy sounds like it sucks.
What?
You don't get time off. You have to ride around. You have to do lots of shit. I don't know.
Hey, that's why I decided not to become a cowboy.
I'd rather be a school teacher in Virginia, to be quite honest. That sounds more pleasing.
you get a lot of blisters on your ass too from them saddles. And bow-legged.
Yeah.
And hanging around the campfire, farting at each other when you eat beans. You know, that's the biggest thing is wait, hit the wrong button. See that? One of those. But actually, one of those does lead to either that or it leads to, or possibly even. But this is your program.
God help us. Yeah, let's move on with this program.